Hello everyone, I'm Amelia. Welcome to episode 3 of my knitting podcast here on Amelia Feature Knitting. So for this episode, I do have a couple finished objects that I did in March to talk to you about, as well as my current work in progress and my April knitting plan. And a couple more yarn acquisitions. I'm hoping to put myself on a yarn buying ban after this because I made a very big dent in my credit card with this yarn purchase. You'll see it and you'll see why. But I'm hoping to put myself on a yarn buying ban after this because I don't need any more, and I really would love to knit my backlog project before, moving on, even though that means I will not be able to knit for a lot of summer pieces since I didn't plan beforehand, and a lot of these that I have in these stash are mostly all sweaters. So yeah, but it's okay. It's okay. We'll figure it out. So, yeah. But yeah, let's get started with the finished object first. The first finished object I have is the Sophie hood. If you've seen my last podcast, you saw me talked about working on the Sophie hood, and it is finished. And let me try it on for you. I love this thing. And I'm a little bit sad that I finished it while spring is around already, but this is what it looks like. Isn't it so cute? It makes me so happy, but I'm a little bit sad that I can't wear it yet until like next spring. But I'm just gonna wear it like this for the rest of the podcast just to give me a reason to wear it. And I thought wearing it like this is also super duper cute. So hopefully it's not muffling my mic. If it is, I'm so sorry. But yeah, this is the Sophie hood. This was so much fun to knit. I think it took me about 5 days, maybe, I could be wrong, to finish. And it was so fast. It knit up so fast. I mean, it was on a 5mm millimeter needle, and the yarn was also like thick, and so like it just flew by. Though it did hurt my wrist, and I had to put it down. I feel like if it didn't, I probably would fly through it a little bit even faster. But I'm thinking about making another one of this for next autumn, but I don't think I'm gonna cast it on anytime soon. I think I'm gonna try to work on my backlog first before I cast on anything, and I do want to wear it as soon as I cast it off, so I probably will do another one in the fall. So yeah, this is the Sophie hood. I don't think there's much. I talked about the construction of it last time in the other video as well, so there's not much for me to say about it, but look how cute is this. It makes me happy, and I really want to wear it more often, but oh well. Next fall. The next finished object I have for you is the Vilma vest that I made for my best friend, and I show you guys the yarn for it. And yeah, this is the finished object with the buttons sewn on. Look at that buttons. How cute are they? I think, guys, I might knit another one of this for myself, but I'm getting ahead of myself. But yeah, let's talk about the yarn and the construction and all. I had so much fun with this pattern. It was a very, very interesting pattern to knit because it was knit. I didn't know it at the time when I went into knitting it, but as I started knitting it, it was knitting bottom up. And that was a very interesting experience. I filmed a little clip to show you what it looks like when you first start knitting it. It was just this long tube. I'll put a clips in, but it was just this long tube for like a good, couple, like at least to like the second pattern, like to the set from like the bottom to the second motif like of the lace pattern here. And so you don't actually cast on and knit from this here. You actually do a provisional cast on first, and then you knit up to the second motif of the lace pattern. And then you split for the front and the back, and then you knit all the way, you knit for the front, and then you knit for the back, and then you connect and join at the shoulder. And then you pick up stitches to do the ribbings, and then the side, and then you put back your provisional cast on and do the bottom edges. And I don't think I like knitting bottom up because of this. It was a quick knit because you don't have to do the sleeve, but that initial point was just really, really weird. And the number of stitches you have to cast on for bottom up, there was too many stitches I had to cast on. I think for the size I chose to make for her, I have to cast on like 230 something odd stitches. And I have not cast on that many stitches before, and that was a lot of stitches to cast on. It was just too many. But after that, after like the initial weirdness of the long tubes, it was pretty quick. Like knitting the front panel was really relatively quick because you don't have that many stitches anymore. And then the other front panel, and then the back, even then, it's still not that many stitches anymore. So it flew by really fast after that initial points, and I really enjoyed the knitting process. The only other downside for this is that there's too much picking up stitches. I don't mind picking up stitches normally, but this thing has way too many picking up stitches sections. You have to pick up the stitches for the neckline, and then you have to pick up the stitches for both sides of the armhole, and then you have to like pick up stitches for both of the buttons band, and that is a little bit more than you usually do, is it? Maybe it's the same for cardigan. But you know, it just felt like it's a lot. I think it's also feel like it's a lot because for the ribbing, you don't end up having to knit very far. I think this is a total of like 8 rows of ribbing. So I feel like you're constantly picking up stitches. Whereas where the ribbing is way longer, you don't have to pick up that many. Like, it doesn't feel like you have to pick up stitches that often, if that makes any sense. These buttons were, like, they're cute, but they were a nightmare to pick on. To sew on. If you look at the, like, can you see the hole right there? Like in order to get the needle through that was a challenge. And I don't know why the back is not perfectly aligned with the front. So like in order for me to keep the button like the tree standing straight up like this, I have to like angle the sewing, like the hole a specific way. They don't all just like align with the tree. They like, some of them like offset to the side, and it was very interesting. But I have fun. I think it added a lot of characters to the vest, and I really, really hope my best friend will like the final result. I sent her the picture of it, and she really liked it, and she's coming to pick it up soon, so I'm excited for her to try it on. And yeah, what else do I have to say about this one? Oh, one thing I realized, when I bought the yarn, I did not realize that it was DK weight, even though on the yarn it said Stumptown DK. I don't know why it never registered. And when I went to knit this, I learned that you were supposed to knit it with an Aran weight yarn. So my yarn is way smaller than what the recommended yarn you're supposed to use is for. So I did a swatch. And for somehow, I managed to hit gauge for both row and stitch count, which I was really surprised by. And knowing that this super wash, so it will probably stretch as you wash it, I decided to just knit her the size that matches her body the most. And it still turned out really good. And I think that the designer tension is just way tighter than my tensions. And that is how I was able to get gauge and pretty much made it to measure just like exactly the same as my best friend measurements or the size that was recommended. So I was really surprised on that. I was actually worried I would not have enough yarn, but I still actually have a good like 50% of the third ball of yarn left. So kind of impressed with myself for that. I was really nervous. I thought I would have to crop this a bit, but yeah, this turned out perfect, and I really like it. I'll put up a picture of me wearing it. It won't fit me very nicely because it's a little bit bigger for me, but you get to see an idea of what it looks like when I put it on. So yeah, but yeah, I think that is it for my finished object. I only have 2. I was able to cast on for the Frankie sweater, which is that is my current whip. So yeah. As for my current whip, I kind of spoiled it. It is the Frankie sweater, which is part of the knitting plans I told you guys about. I was able to cast it on, and this is how far I'm at. I am currently at this ribbing. I have been stuck on knitting this ribbing for the last today is the third day I'm on this ribbing. The pattern asked me to knit 20 centimeter of the ribbing, and I'm on centimeter 12. And I think I'm going to cut it short because I tried it on last night and it felt a little bit too long for me when I measured it from the beginning of the ribbing to where 20 centimeter would be on my body. It did feel too long, and I know when you block it, it will grow a little bit more. So I think I'm going to cut it short to only about 16 centimeter because that's where it feels like it's the perfect length. So. And then for the sleeve, I was asked to do a 18 centimeter on the sleeve, but I think I've also cut that short too to about 11 centimeter because 18 centimeter would be way too long for my arm. And so, yeah, I have this. Oh, for the construction, I forgot. The constructions is that you kind of, this is called the, I think I could be wrong. Please do correct me if I'm wrong. But even though it's a raglan, they did a stagger start or a late start where instead of knitting German short rows, you only cast on until like the shoulder with one stitch for the front on both sides. And then as you knit back and forth, you cast on more stitches to create that slope right here for the shoulder and like add more height for the back so that it raises up a little bit. And then once you get to the height that you want, you cast on the rest of the stitches for the front. And that's how you join in the round. And then from then, you just join and knit in the round for raglan style. And I thought that was my first time doing that construction, and it was really interesting because it still gives you that German short row effect without having to do German short row if you guys don't like German short rows. So I thought that was really nice. The number of stitches that they asked you to cast on for this is astronomical. I don't think I've ever cast on this many stitches for the underarm. It was quite a lot. But when I tried it on, it fits me really nice. I think I like the boxy fit. I don't often go for like tighter fit when it comes to sweater because I like it a little bit drapey and overflowing. So I do enjoy it a little bit roomy. And surprisingly, the yarn is not itchy at all. I tried it on around my neck area, didn't feel itchy. I haven't tried it on fully without like a shirt under it yet, but from as far as I can tell, like putting it on my leg and putting it on my neck and stuff, it feels really, really soft. But the one thing I noticed about knitting with like this type of fuzzy yarn or alpaca yarn is that it gets stuck on your needle, so it doesn't really like speed up the process. But yeah, this is a Frankie sweater. I am really excited to finish this, and I'm really hoping to finish this by the end of this week. Today is Wednesday. I'm hoping to finish it by Sunday because I have some stuff that I need to cast on for April, which let's get into that right now. So for April, I have two major events that is coming up. One is my dad's birthday, which I'm knitting him a sweater, the zipper sweater by Petite Knit Men for his birthday. So that is on my project plan, and I'm knitting it with, I don't have the yarn with me. I just put in an order for the yarn actually. Originally, I had got the dropped Nepal to knit his sweater made out of, but then I realized that drop Nepal is not a superwash yarn, and he tends to wash his sweater very often as well. And so I don't think this is a good idea. So I'm saving this yarn to make my husband a Moby sweater instead. So I reordered the yarn. Is the Swish by Knit Pick bulky weight. So that's the one I reordered and got for him. And I'm just waiting for it to come in, which I think it should come in by April 5th is what they're saying, which give me about 14 days to knit the sweater. So approximately 2 weeks. Hopefully I'll get it done by then. I think that is going to be a challenge because I need to finish it by like the 17th, which gave me 2 days to wash and block it before I give it to him. Not a lot of time. It will be a challenge that I am willing to put myself on. So, but because it's stockinette and it's on bulky weight, I'm hoping, like really, really hoping that it won't take me too long to knit it, and that 12-day would be enough time. If that's like the only thing I worked on, you know, and I work on it like crazy. So, finger crossed. But yeah, that's project number 1 that I'm planning to cast on. And then project number 2, so my in-law is having a family photo sessions also in April, and I they gave me a color palette, and in there it have this light green, and I don't usually do light green, and I don't have light green in my closet too. So what do? Instead of going to buy light green, I bought light green yarn to make myself a top instead. So this is going to be the next project I cast on as soon as I finish the Frankie sweater. Picture dates is kind of like in late April, but I would like to finish this earlier since I have the yarn for this. From the time I finish this Frankie sweater, hoping by this Sunday, I will have a week of not having yarn to start my dad's sweater yet. So I'm hoping to cast this on and finish it in a week. So the pattern that I'm using to knit this with is called the Frankie, no, not the Frankie. It's called the Province Top. I don't remember the name of the designer once again, but I will put it on the screen for you. But yeah, it will be in this color sage green, which will match the color palette that she wants for the family photos. So it's this beautiful like lace on the top and then stockinette on the body, and it was just giving spring, and I really liked it. So I decided now is a great time, you know, to knit for it, because why not stress me out further than I already am, you know? So, and also why buy clothes when you can make your own? Like, duh. But yeah, I'm hoping, because it's a top and there's also no sleeve, I'm hoping to be able to do it in 7 days. It will be a challenge, but it's a challenge that I think I can do. I think. And it's also on worsted weight too. So I'm lucky that both of these things are both worsted and bulky weight yarns. So I think it will grow relatively fast. And it, you know, it won't be as long knitting like when you knit on a 4mm needle or like a 2mm. So I have faith I can do it. I'll keep you updated. I'm planning to do a vlog for this, so keep an eye out for the vlog. But yeah, yeah, those are one of the two things. And then if everything goes according to plan, I will only finish knitting 2 of these by mid-April. That's give me the rest of April. And another big project that I think I mentioned it with you guys last podcast is the Lauren jacket by Banna Knits that I want to make for my mom for Mother's Day. And the yarn that I'm using for that I already showed you, but I'll show it to you again, is the Swish by Knit Picks, which is also superwash yarn. It's the same yarn that I'm getting from my dad as well, but my dad's yarn will be in bulky weight and this is only worsted weight. So it will be in this. They all bulky weight, but this one I don't think it will take me as fast to knit as the other two, because it will be an all-over cable cardigan. So, and cable takes forever to knit. So but I'm very excited because it will be my second cable sweater, and I'm very excited to, you know, to do that. So I'm hoping to it will turn out really good and she'll like it too. I'm knitting a lot of gift knit this season. Everybody's birthday and holidays are so close together that all the gift knits are just stacking. And it's my first year of knitting, so I'm really excited to make people like in my family something that to keep from my knitting, you know? So I kind of volunteer myself for a lot of gift knitting because I think I have 2 sweaters I want to make for my husband. Well, with my husband, it's not really gift knitting. It's just something I want to make for him, and I'm also making the female versions of it for myself, so it's kind of like, you know, matchy-matchy, cringe, whatever, but, you know, yeah. Once I finish this one, this should probably be the last gift knit I will make for the year. I don't think Christmas will have any gift knit. I don't know yet. Still a little bit out, but as of right now, this will be the last gift knit I will have after I finish it. So anything after that will be for myself. So that would be great. But yeah, that is my knitting plan for April. Next is acquisitions. I do have a couple of acquisitions that I got for you, for myself, I mean. When I went to the yarn store, it's a new yarn store that was just opened here in Salt Lake. It's called Knitting Hive, and it was heaven. I don't think I have been to an indie yarn store that made me that happy. All the brand that I wanted to try, from like Rowan to Isager to I can't remember. There were so many brands that I saw online that like is not easily accessed here in America. They was all over the store, and I get to touch and feel them all and like see them, and you know, it was a candy store for me, and it was so exciting, and I end up going home with more yarn than I went there for, but beside the point. But I did, this is what I picked up there, this one, and then the other one that I picked up there is this Isager silk mohair. I heard that this is the best silk mohair on the market, and from the feel of it, from rubbing it in my neck, on my neck, it feels really, really, really nice. And I might be inclined to agree with the judgment, but I will have to hold back the review for that because I would love to knit this up first and wear it to see how it really truly feel on my body beside my neck, you know? So to make a full review on the level of itchiness for this, because I am on the more sensitive side when it comes to mohair. So, but yeah, I am planning to knit this, to knit the Provence blouse, what is the other versions of the Provence top. Originally, I wanted to do the Provence blouse, but this green was way too dark and there was not any other green in the store. And the other recommended yarn that the designer recommended is drop kit silk, and I know I cannot do drop kit silk. So I chose to go with this. I don't think in this line, or at least in the store, there was not a better green. So I chose to do the top, and the top didn't knit out mohair, but rather like out cotton instead. So I chose this one. Yeah, it's the cotton cashmere. I don't think I've told you that yet. So yeah, so I chose that to knit the blouse, but I still love the blouse. So I really want to knit the blouse still. So I still pick up this green to knit the blouse version still. So I'll be having the same kind of like sister top and blouse of the same patterns, but it's okay. It's kind of different, you know. One is like super nice and flowy. Like I'll pop a picture up so you can see why I want to knit it. It's just so beautiful, and to me it gives more of a spring vibe than the top. I'm purely making the top for the family photo. I mean, I don't have to. I could have just go and buy something, but I find joy in like making my own clothes now that I know how to knit. So there's that. I also have another splurge moment. So if you live in the US, you know that tariffs are going in, and out of fear of tariff, I went and bought cashmere yarn. It just in case that if the tariff do takes effect and yarn costs do go up, at least I bought it before then. So I got 2 sweater quantity worth of cashmere, Cardiff cashmere from this website called Alpakka yarn. And I did the cost calculations. If I were to buy this please don't take this as if I'm not saying to support your local indie yarn store. I love to go to the indie yarn store whenever I can, but just for this, it did help me save a lot of money. So on Alpakka yarn, if you do the conversion, it's come out to be about $13 a skein of yarn for this. And even with shipping, my whole purchase would still be cheaper than buying, and it's for 2 sweater quantity, would still be cheaper than buying it here in the US at a brick and mortar store. Because 1 skein of this ball 25 gram here at a brick and mortar in the US is about $30. So I thought that was a good steal, and I couldn't miss out on it. And with the retaliation tariff, a little bit political, but yarn is gonna go up irregardless. So I just thought, you know, save myself some 15-20 bucks here and there. So yeah, but these are the Cardiff Cashmere Classic in the color Vicky. I think that's how you pronounce it. The color wave is 719, and then this is the Cardiff Cashmere Classic in the color Indigo. The colorway is 638, and for this one, I'm planning to make the poppy tee out of this. And then for this one, I'm debating between the Elizabeth blouse or the Maggie cardigan. I'm leaning more towards the Maggie cardigan than not. So I think the Maggie cardigan will be the one that I will knit this out of. So yeah. Oh, if you notice, I'm sitting on the ground. I don't know. I'm just trying to go around the house trying to figure out what is the best backdrop for me, and I think I kind of like this setting. So maybe I'll keep this going, or maybe I'll go back to the green chair. I don't know, but let me know what you guys think about this little background, and let me know if you want to see my yarn stash. I would love to make a video for you guys on that too. So yeah, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed that, and I have so much fun with you guys as always. So thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.